Off-camber slopes can be tricky, especially if you lose your front wheel and go tumbling down the slope. Here are some tips to make them easier. Thanks to His Royal Highness, the Most Righteous and Honourable Tim Coleman, Hard Enduro Mega Coach, for his advice and participation. Default body position. This will keep the front wheel light and less likely to slip out. It lowers your centre of gravity and also lets your legs act as extra suspension. And if the front wheel is likely to slip, you can move your body weight even more to the rear. And of course, remember to look ahead. Lean the bike into the hill, keep your body upright. This increases traction, and if the wheels do slip, you might be able to save the bike by whipping it quickly into the upright position. You are also more likely to fall uphill than downhill when the shit hits the fan. Weight the outside or downhill foot peg. Keep your inside leg light so you are ready to put your foot down if you lose balance or the wheels slip. Use gentle throttle control. Consider using a higher gear and slipping the clutch constantly. If the rear wheel does slide downhill, don't grab a big handful of throttle. Beginners and motocross riders so often assume lots of throttle gets you out of trouble. This is almost never the answer for technical dirt riding. Just back off the throttle and, if necessary, step off the bike. It's the same with brakes. Gentle, gentle, gentle. Rely on engine brake first, rear brake next, and be very careful with using any front brake at all. Feeling confident? Start using more speed. It's easier to control the rear wheel slipping as you go faster. In fact, you can see Tim Coleman here is deliberately using throttle to keep the rear wheel slipping sideways. This means less chance of the front wheel slipping. He gets through this section faster and he's got more momentum to save the bike if the rear wheel slips too much. So don't panic if the rear slides. Just use enough throttle to stay in a controlled slide until you can straighten the bike again. Bike setup, the main thing here, lower air pressures will give you a bigger footprint on the ground. If you are riding a lot of slow off camber, try the lowest air pressure you feel comfortable using. What about single track? Here I'm following Super Gumby and Sydney dealer Cameron Graham from 01 Moto. It's very important to look ahead as there are plenty of rocks, roots and little obstacles to deal with. Try to stay on the high side of the single track. This gives you more margin for error if the wheels slip. Cameron could possibly lean the bike more into the slope, but you can see he definitely does whenever he's in a tricky section. Leaning in and moving your body weight quickly often saves the bike from slipping or veering off the single track. You can see Cameron's weighting the outside peg, which makes it very easy and quick to dab with his inside leg as needed. As with most aspects of dirt riding, stand on those foot pegs as much as possible. Only sit when you get too tired or the terrain is getting too rough for your skill level. For example, I'm sitting here because that steep drop-off is giving me the willies. Hope this training vid helps, guys. Really keen to hear your thoughts and extra tips in the comments section.